Hello every pony, the one and only Dark Shadow here again with another glorious fanfiction reading for all of you. I know it's been a while since my last video, but I'm back now and ready to perform the requested stories that I had promised a couple of months ago. I apologize for it taking so long, but let's not waste any time and jump right into it, shall we? The story that I have was requested by YouTube user Sparkworks Reads. The story is called Pinkie Pie Learns a New Word by Kickass222urmom. Interesting name. Here we go. Chapter 1. The Word.
Order up!
Pinkie Pie screamed as she pulled a large tray of baked goods out of the oven and tossed them towards the counter. And, somehow, they all landed perfectly in a straight line. Pinkie Pie happily trotted up to the counter and slammed her hoof against the bell several times.
Order up!
After a few seconds of no pony coming and claiming the order, she poked her head out of the kitchen and yelled out the same thing. This time, a large stallion stood up in the back and began to make his way to the counter, his desperado pushed down over his eyes. When he stepped up to the counter, he pushed his hat up slightly and stared down at Pinkie Pie. "My order done?" he asked in a rough voice. Pinkie Pie smiled happily and cast a hoof over the line of cupcakes, muffins, and loaves of bread.
Yep, it's all done. I put a little extra sugar in each one, even the bread. Sugar bread. Have you ever tried sugar bread? You should. It tastes so
He exhaled and looked over his order. "I think I also ordered 4 shortcakes." Pinkie Pie frowned.
Well, shoot. I thought I got everything. Oh, I know what happened. When you were ordering, I was playing with my spoon. Do you have a spoon, friend? Wait, do you?
He held up a hoof and sighed. "Please, ma'am, be quiet. Can you just bake the shortcakes real fast?" Pinkie Pie tapped her hoof against her chin and looked skyward.
Can I? Of course I can.
She then looked back at the stallion and began to hop up and down happily.
I know. I can make you the super duper shortcakes. They are all packed full of all kinds of strawberries, jams, and anything I can force into them. I'll have them done lickety split.
As she began to spin around to do her job, the stallion cleared his throat. "Nah, just forget 'em. I don't need 'em that bad." He then sighed and pulled his desperado over his eyes. "Well, fuck. I hope they don't mind they won't be getting those shortcakes." Pinkie Pie turned and smiled.
Oh no, don't worry. I can do it super fast. I can even have them done before you say shortcakes.
"Shortcakes," he said in a bored voice. Pinkie Pie laughed and jumped up a few times.
No, you gotta say it slow, like this.
She moved her lips around and said it in a slow motion type voice.
Shortcakes.
The stallion faced hoof and picked up a brown bag. "Listen, I don't fucking need 'em, okay? They can live without 'em." Pinkie Pie jumped up on the counter and kicked all the desserts into the stallion's paper bag.
Alrighty then.
"I hope your hooves are clean," he said, putting the bag on his back. Pinkie Pie giggled and held up all 4 of her hooves.
They're all clean. See? I wash them every chance I get. It's rule 1 of the kitchen. Always wash your hooves. If you don't, bad things will happen to the ponies who eat your food. That would be bad. Well, it's already happened once, but I didn't know I stepped in that pile of sewage. What was I doing in the sewer anyway? Oh yeah, Gummy wanted me to find him a friend, and wow, there are so many new friends to pick from. I almost..."
The stallion faced hoof hard. "Listen, ma'am, I would just love to stay here and hear your life story, but I have a place to be, and I can't waste all my fucking time here." Pinkie cocked her head.
What does fuck mean? You've been saying it a lot.
She then smiled excitedly.
Does it mean something good? Or something very good? Or is it something bad? Like a large monster that hides in your closet while you sleep? That reminds me, I haven't monster-proofed my room today.
"Ma'am, you're getting off track," the stallion said, annoyance in his voice.
Oops,
Pinkie Pie said, as she stopped her overexcited voice and got back on topic.
So, fuck, what does it mean? Does it mean...
He quickly held up a hoof. "Listen, it's just a word we commonly use in Appaloosa. As for the meaning, it means whatever you want, I guess."
Whatever I want?
Pinkie Pie said, a smile forming on her face. He looked at her with a worried face and began to back out of the shop. Yeah, whatever you want. Just don't say it to others." As luck would have it, Pinkie Pie only heard the first part before she began to laugh in delight at the idea of having a multi-purpose word at her disposal. The stallion, already slightly worried about the mental state of this pink mare, quickly pushed open the doors and exited the bakery. Pinkie Pie turned back to the kitchen and cheerfully trotted up to the sink, where the dishes were piled high. She stuck her hooves into the water and began to wash the dirty plates. 2 hours later. Pinkie Pie hopped out of the bakery and proceeded to happily bounce down the street, humming a new tune she just made up. She passed by one of her friends, Rose, and gave her a happy wave.
Hey, Rose!
Rose looked up from her flowers and waved back.
Hey, Pinkie, how you doing?
Pinkie Pie bounced in place.
What I always do, bring a smile to everyone's face.
She then looked at Rose's flowers and smiled.
Ooh, Rose, your flowers are so fuck!
Rose's eyes widened as her mouth dropped.
What? Your flowers! You know, they're so fuck. Fuck mean beautiful. Like, I'm fuck, you're fuck, this whole town is fuck. Ooh, fuck can also mean hug. Oh, goody!
Rose shook the shock off her face and looked at Pinkie Pie with a worried expression.
Pinkie, I don't think that's the real meaning of that word. Well, duh,
Pinkie Pie said, as if Rose should already know this.
It can mean anything. That's what the stallion at Sugar Cube Corner told me.
Rose scratched the back of her neck as she glanced around.
Pinkie, I think you should stop.
Pinkie Pie jumped into the air and let out a squeal of delight. She then shot off, leaving Rose as confused as ever.
Nothing good can come of this,
she muttered as she went back to tending her flowers. Pinkie Pie galloped down the street, barreling her way to her good friend, Twilight Sparkle.
Twilight!
Pinkie Pie yelled, startling the lavender mare and causing her to look up from her book, which she was currently reading on a bench.
Pinkie, what are you doing?
She yelled back, watching as her friend galloped towards her. Pinkie Pie smiled happily and jumped into the air, soaring towards her friend.
I'm going to fuck you!
Twilight's eyes widened and her hooves came in front of her.
What?
Pinkie Pie slammed into Twilight and instantly lifted her up in a large, awkward hug.
Pinkie, what the hell are you doing?
Twilight screamed out, still worried about what Pinkie had said before hugging her. Pinkie Pie giggled and shook Twilight side to side.
Duh, I'm fucking you, silly!
Twilight gasped.
Pinkie, why are you using that word?
Pinkie Pie laughed and dropped Twilight back on the bench.
Why am I using what word, Twi?
Twilight rolled off the bench and landed on all fours.
Pinkie, why did you say you were going to F me?
Pinkie Pie just giggled and slapped Twilight on the back.
Silly goose, I said I was going to hug you and I did.
I don't follow, Twilight said, raising an eyebrow.
Oh, Twilight, I thought you would know about this,
Pinkie Pie stated, snickering at her friend's expression.
Fuck can mean anything, like I just fucked you, which means I hugged you. It can even mean very happy, like right now, I'm so fuck.
Twilight rubbed her face. Pinkie, I don't think you fully understand the meaning of the F word. It does have many meanings, but it's mainly used for... Pinkie Pie put her hoof on Twilight's mouth and giggled.
I already know all of this, Twilight. The nice stallion at Sugar Cube Corner already explained it all to me.
Stallion? Who was he? Twilight questioned, wanting to get to the bottom of this. Pinkie Pie shrugged.
I don't know. He was just a customer.
She then looked past Twilight and smiled brightly.
Gotta go, Twi. I'll talk to you later.
Pinkie, wait! Twilight yelled, but Pinkie Pie was already halfway down the street. Twilight exhaled loudly and brought her hooves to her face. Why do I even put up with her? Pinkie Pie rocketed down the street, a large smile on her face. Her eyes were locked on two of her friends, Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash. The two Pegasi were standing next to a cart, which sold small bars of soap.
Girls!
Pinkie Pie yelled as she came to a screeching halt behind them. Fluttershy yelped in surprise and dropped to the ground, while Rainbow Dash spun around to face her pink friend.
Pinkie, what's with the yelling?
Pinkie Pie laughed and began to bounce in place.
Hey, Rainbow Dash. Hey, Fluttershy. What are you girls doing here? Are you buying soap? Ooh, does one of Fluttershy's animals need a bath? Or do you need a bath, Rainbow Dash? Wait, what if it's me that needs a bath? When was the last time I took a bath? Oh, that's right, when...
Rainbow Dash, to stop her friends rambling, stuck a bar of soap in Pinkie Pie's mouth and laughed.
Calm down, Pinkie,
Rainbow Dash said, chuckling.
Fluttershy just needs more soap for her animals. So, I guess you got it right on the first try.
Pinkie Pie swallowed the bar of soap, followed by her jumping into the air and striking a victory pose.
Yay!
When she landed, she laughed and started her bouncing again.
You girls are so fuck!
Rainbow Dash did a double take at hearing this, and Fluttershy let out a small gasp.
Pinkie, why did you say that to us?
Fluttershy asked quietly. Pinkie Pie giggled.
Say what? Fuck?
Yeah, that word, Rainbow Dash said, a sound of slight anger in her voice. Pinkie Pie just smiled at her two friends.
Come on, girls. You have to know that fuck can mean anything. I just said you two were funny. Ooh, like Fluttershy fucks her animals on a daily basis, and Rainbow Dash, you wanna fuck Applejack at everything.
Pinkie! Rainbow Dash yelled, face red hot.
What? I just said Fluttershy feeds her animals on a daily basis, and that you want to be Applejack at everything. I just told you that fuck can mean anything, didn't I?
Fluttershy slowly stood and gulped.
I don't do that to my animals. That's just wrong.
Pinkie Pie stared at her friend with a worried look.
You don't feed your animals? Then it's up to me to get those poor creatures some food.
No, Pinkie, listen, that word means... Rainbow Dash began to say, but before she could finish, Pinkie Pie was already running off in the opposite direction. Ugh, she's so random! Fluttershy looked around and bit her hoof.
I don't mate with my animals, do I?
Rainbow Dash sighed and put a hoof on her shoulder. No, you don't. Wait, do you? Eep. After a few minutes of running, Pinkie Pie finally saw her target, Applejack and her apple cart. As she neared, she saw Apple Bloom, who looked to be helping today. When Pinkie Pie came to a stop a few feet from the cart, she instantly jumped forward and put her front hooves on the cart's edge.
Quickly, Applejack! I need as many apples as you can spare! Fluttershy isn't fucking her animals anymore!
Applejack, after hearing this, fell back on her haunches. What? She's doing what to her animals?
What does fuck mean?
Apple Bloom asked innocently. Nothing you should be concerned with, Applejack responded. Pinkie Pie smiled and went back to all fours in front of the small filly.
It could mean anything! Like what I just said! Fluttershy isn't feeding her animals anymore! Oh my gosh, I almost forgot! I have to go fuck her animals since she's no longer doing it! Applejack, give me all your apples before the poor creatures starve from not being fucked!
Pinkie Pie, there's a filly here, Applejack yelled, beginning to shove Apple Bloom away. Listen, Apple Bloom, why don't you go play with the others today? Apple Bloom smiled happily and began to gallop off.
Thanks, sis. I can't wait to tell him the new word I learned.
Wait, what? Applejack yelled as she began to gallop off after her younger sister.
Applejack, wait, Wait, what did I need again?
Pinkie Pie said, looking around confused. She had come here for something, but what? She turned and saw all the apples on the cart.
Oh, that's right. I was going to eat a fuck.
She plucked one of the apples off the cart and quickly gobbled it down. As soon as she was finished, she heard a mare's distressed scream, which could only be Rarity. When Pinkie Pie turned around, she saw Rarity, her dress covered in fresh mud.
You barbarian! How dare you splash mud on my brand new dress!
She screamed as a stallion ran away from her.
Rarity!
Pinkie Pie yelled, hopping over to her friend. Rarity looked over at her and sighed.
Oh, hello there, Pinkie Pie. How's your day going?
Pinkie Pie smiled widely.
It's been great! I baked desserts all morning, I talked to Rose, I had a chat with Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash, oh, and I fucked Twilight!
Rarity's eyes widened, and a hoof came up to cover her mouth.
You did that to Twilight? Did she let you? Yup, Pinkie Pie said excitedly. She just stood there and let me fuck her. It was one of the best fucks I've given in a long time.
Rarity began to sway side to side.
You, Twilight, how, mate, Ugh.
Thud. Pinkie Pie looked at Rarity's unconscious body, which had just fallen into a large pile of mud.
Wow, it's like she's never heard of a pony hugging another.
Pinkie Pie then looked around, looking for someone to help. When she spotted Lyra, she started waving at her.
Lyra, I need your help with something super duper important.
Lyra smiled and began to trot towards her.
What is it? Why is Rarity on the ground?
Pinkie Pie shrugged and waved a hoof over Rarity.
I don't know. I just said I fucked Twilight, and she did this.
Lyra's eyes widened. You... really?
Pinkie Pie nodded happily. Yep, I think it was one of my best fucks ever.
Lyra looked around nervously.
She goes that way, huh?
Goes what way? Pinkie Pie asked, a smile still on her face.
You know, fucking mares?
Lyra said hesitantly. Pinkie Pie waved a hoof and giggled.
Well, duh! Who doesn't love fucking others? I even fuck myself from time to time.
Lyra raised an eyebrow.
Huh? So what did you need me for? Oh, Pinkie Pie said, face hoofing. I wanted you to take Rarity home. I don't think it's a good idea for her to be out here. Some weirdo may try and give her a fuck. Or worse, they may give her a fuck and tell her about fuck.
I see. Pinkie, do you take medicine? Lyra asked worriedly. Pinkie Pie tapped her chin.
Do sugar pills count?
No.
Just don't hurt yourself trying to get home,
Lyra said, levitating Rarity up, and began to trot off towards the boutique.
What? Am I supposed to go home? Wait, I am! Yes, I have to give the foals their afternoon fuck!
And with that, she took off for Sugar Cube Corner. As soon as she burst through the front doors, she yelled out,
Where's the bottles? I've got some babies to fuck!
Everyone in the bakery gasped. 2 mares in the back fainted, while another up front passed out.
What? We all have to fuck to survive,
she said, as she looked at everyone's shocked faces. So true, a stallion off to the side said, but received a slap upside the head from the mare next to him. Pinkie Pie forced herself to focus and galloped into the back part of the bakery. Once there, she smiled at the 2 foals, who were currently playing with some blocks.
Hey! You two ready to be fucked?
The 2 foals looked at her and laughed crazily. Pinkie Pie smiled and quickly got 2 bottles of milk. She then gave the 2 foals a bottle and sat back to watch them drink.
Aw, you like being fucked, don't you?
She said, proud that she had remembered to feed the 2 foals. Wait, feed?
Oh no! I forgot to fuck Fluttershy's animals!
She then shrugged.
Oh well, she'll come to her senses and feed the poor creatures.
After a few minutes, she was back in the kitchen, resuming her kitchen duties.
I wonder when the cakes are going to come back from lunch. They should have already fucked all their food by now,
she wondered aloud. Service please, said a familiar voice.
Coming,
Pinkie Pie yelled out. She swiftly ran up to the counter and smiled at her customer, but the second she saw him, she laughed.
Hey, you're back already? Why did you come back so soon? Did you need more food, or did you forget to...
The stallion wearing the desperado held up a hoof and sighed. Oh no, it's the crazy bitch again. Look, it turns out I need those shortcakes. Could you please hurry and make 'em? Pinkie Pie saluted.
I sure can. I can have them done within the hour.
Please hurry, he urged. Pinkie Pie ran off and quickly baked the shortcakes, which only took 30 minutes. Once they were done, she ran back and dropped them on the counter.
There you go. 4 fucks.
He raised an eyebrow and picked up the bag they were in. Thanks? As he turned, Pinkie Pie reached out and spun him back to face her.
One more thing.
He sighed loudly. Yes? Pinkie Pie smiled happily and asked,
What does bitch mean?
And that's how Equestria was thrown into complete disorder. The end. Well, that was one entertaining story. I'm pretty sure many of you have heard of this story before, based on the amount of views that it has, and I know that I've heard of it, but never had a chance to sit down and actually read it. And now that I have, it is one funny story. I mean, I enjoyed every moment of it. This story is easily a 10 out of 10 for me, so thank you, Sparkworks Reads, for recommending this story. It was very enjoyable. Just a reminder to everyone that requests are open. Just send me a link in the comment section and let me know if you want me to use your real name or your YouTube name, and I will be more than happy to look into the story and more than likely give it a shot and read it for you guys. So take that for what you will, I suppose. Well, it's happened again, ladies and gentlemen. You've wasted another perfectly good chunk of your life listening to me. I hope you have enjoyed this reading as much as I have, and I hope to do another one really soon. So, until next time, the one and only Dark Shadow here, signing off.